When I'm asked about my story, I have to point out that in 1973, when I was 23, I had my first major episode. I was in a straitjacket in the hospital. I was in a padded room, and I was given a dozen ECTs, or shock treatments at that time. When I left this hospital a month later, the doctor told me that by the time I was 50, I would have lost my mind and be in a lunacy asylum. I do remember when I left the hospital, I was angry because I felt like, I've been given this sentence that at 50, my life is going to be over. So I remember a lot of anger going through that period. In 1980, I really just hit rock bottom. I wound up in a psychiatric hospital, and that began a period of about 11 years of in and out of psychiatric hospitals. It was almost like it had a swinging door on it for me. I rocked along like this, just sick. It was always there. The illness was always there. The depression, the feeling that my life was over. I very much felt like a second-class citizen. So I went up to the little local beer bar where everybody hung out. I didn't drink at that time, but I wanted to be around friends. So I go in, and one of the guys says, "So Sandra, we haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?" "Oh, been in the hospital again." And he said, "You know, that psych ward's just got swinging doors on it for you. Why can't you just be normal like the rest of us?" I felt like I'd been hit in the face with a baseball bat. And so I decided, okay, I'll be normal. I went up to the bar and asked the bartender, "I want a wine cooler." She served me a wine cooler. I finished it, went up to the bar and got a second wine cooler. I finished it. When I went to the bar for the third one, she goes, "I think you need to go home." So I did. And mind you, these two wine coolers was on top of all the meds that I'd just gotten out of the hospital with. So I went home, and it gets a little fuzzy after that. I have a little sliver of a memory of thinking, maybe if I take enough of these meds, it'll go away. So I apparently took half of all 6 bottles of meds. I woke up 4 days later in a locked cell in a psychiatric hospital. After that, I just decided, this isn't working. All this medicine, all these hospital stays, all the shock treatments, I began to get angry all over again. So I went non-compliant. I went back to the doctor and said, "I'm not coming back." And I pretty explicitly told him exactly what he could do with the medicines and the shock treatments and all the therapy. And I went for a year with no help. I purposely contacted a psychologist in Louisiana, in Slidell, who had helped a family member. My first visit with her was the day my recovery began. She let me know really quickly that I was going to have to do what she wanted me to do, or she didn't have to see me. But she asked me on that first visit, "What do you want to come out of all this?" And I said, what do you mean, what do I want? She goes, "What do you want to come out of all this?" I didn't know how to answer. No one had ever asked me what I wanted. She laid out these boundaries, and I thought, okay, I might can go with this. And so she worked with me and made it very plain I was going to take an active part in my own treatment. And she meant that, and I did. When I went from a straitjacket, a padded cell, 23 shock treatments, tons and tons of medicine, to doing something totally different, I was a pretty happy camper. Life was a lot better. Sandra is not the person she was 35 years ago. Sandra is someone who struggled for a long time and saw herself as the illness. I'll tell you quickly now, I am not mentally ill. I have mental illness. It's not the sum total of who or what I am. I have a life, and mental illness doesn't consume me anymore. I know my symptoms, and believe me, if one of them starts acting up, I do something about it. I never, ever want to go back and be sick again. Not the way I was. Recovery means going about my life, my day-to-day life, and my mental illness not running the show. I'm in control. I like that. Just to go about my day, enjoy my day, and to be able to come and do things like this. I really enjoy trying to help my peers. It rocks. Recovery rocks.